Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt like you're gripping the wheel of life so tightly, trying to control every turn, every outcome, only to find yourself exhausted, anxious, and lost? We live in a world that teaches us to strive, to plan, to predict. But what if the greatest power lies not in control, but in trust? Today I invite you to step beyond the limits of the known, to shift from fear to faith, and to embrace the divine intelligence that orchestrates all things. Because when you trust God with what you cannot control, you unlock a life of true freedom, flow, and miracles. Let's begin. Surrendering control opens the door to divine guidance. Because when we try to micromanage every aspect of our lives, we operate from a place of fear and limitation. We believe that if we don't hold on tightly, things will fall apart. But in reality, the more we try to control, the more resistance we create. The human mind is conditioned to seek certainty, to predict outcomes, and to avoid the discomfort of the unknown. But the unknown is where the divine operates. When we surrender, we shift from the limitations of our personal will to the infinite intelligence that governs the universe. Every time we try to control a situation out of fear, we block the flow of divine intervention. We cling to past experiences, trying to force the future to conform to our expectations. But life is not meant to be dictated by our limited perspectives. There is a greater plan unfolding, one that we often cannot see. When we surrender, we acknowledge that there is a force greater than us, one that has our highest good in mind. This act of surrender is not about passivity or giving up. It is about trust. It is about shifting from a state of survival to a state of creation. Think about the times in your life when things seemed out of control, when you felt powerless to change your circumstances. In those moments, if you look back, you may realize that something greater was at work. Perhaps an unexpected opportunity arose, a door opened, or a situation resolved itself in a way you could never have planned. That is the power of surrender. It allows divine intelligence to step in, guiding you in ways beyond your imagination. When you release control, you open yourself to receiving wisdom, direction, and insight that you would have otherwise missed. The human tendency is to react out of fear, to hold on tightly when things seem uncertain. But faith is built in the unknown. When we surrender, we make space for divine alignment. We stop operating from a place of scarcity and instead move into a state of trust. It is in this space of surrender that intuition becomes clearer, synchronicities appear, and life begins to flow with ease. The ego seeks control, but the soul seeks alignment. When we let go of control, we align with a higher intelligence that is always working on our behalf. Imagine trying to swim against a strong current, using all your energy to push forward, only to find yourself exhausted and stuck. Now imagine turning around and allowing the current to carry you. That is what surrender feels like. It is releasing resistance and allowing life to unfold as it is meant to. When we surrender, we don't lose power, we gain clarity. We allow ourselves to be guided in ways that are beyond our own understanding. Trusting divine guidance does not mean we stop taking action. It means we take inspired action from a place of alignment, not from a place of fear. It means we listen, we observe, and we allow ourselves to be led. The mind will always seek to control, to rationalize, to plan, but the heart knows the way. When we tune in and trust, we begin to see signs, feel nudges, and experience moments of deep knowing. These are not coincidences. They are divine messages, guiding us toward our highest path. Surrender is a practice. It requires a shift in perspective, a willingness to let go of the need for certainty. It requires faith that even when things don't make sense, they are unfolding perfectly. It is easy to trust when things are going well, but true surrender happens in moments of uncertainty. It happens when we release our grip and say, I trust that this is happening for a reason. I trust that something greater is guiding me. When we surrender, we step out of resistance and into alignment. We stop chasing and start attracting. We move from force to flow. We stop relying solely on our own strength and instead tap into the limitless power of divine intelligence. Fear blocks miracles because it keeps us trapped in a state of survival, preventing us from accessing the higher frequencies where divine intervention takes place. Fear is a powerful emotion, deeply rooted in the human experience, designed to protect us from danger. However, in the modern world, fear is often triggered not by physical threats, but by uncertainty, change, and the unknown. When we operate from fear, we limit our ability to receive the blessings, breakthroughs, and guidance that God is constantly making available to us. Fear creates resistance. It closes our minds, tightens our bodies, and fills our hearts with doubt. When we are afraid, we contract, and in that contraction, we block the flow of divine energy that is always working on our behalf. Fear causes us to overthink, second guess, and hesitate. It keeps us small, convincing us that we must cling to what is familiar, even when what is familiar is not serving us. Fear tells us that we are not worthy, not capable, not ready. It creates stories in our minds that keep us paralyzed, preventing us from stepping into the fullness of our potential. Miracles exist in a different state of being. They exist in trust, in faith, in the energy of belief. When we shift from fear to trust, we open the door for miracles to unfold in our lives. Fear is like a wall, separating us from the blessings that are meant for us. But trust is the key that unlocks that wall, allowing divine intervention to flow freely. When we trust, we align ourselves with the higher intelligence that governs the universe. We move from trying to force outcomes to allowing them to unfold in perfect timing. Many times people pray for miracles while still holding on to fear. They ask for blessings but remain in a state of doubt. They hope for breakthroughs but continue to carry the weight of worry. This contradiction creates inner conflict. Faith cannot coexist with fear because fear is the absence of trust. To truly activate miracles, we must be willing to let go of the fear that keeps us in a state of lack and limitation. We must be willing to surrender control and believe that God is already working on our behalf, even when we cannot see the evidence yet. Fear also keeps us focused on worst-case scenarios. It trains our minds to anticipate failure, disappointment, and loss. But what we focus on expands. When we dwell on fear, we manifest more reasons to be afraid. The mind is incredibly powerful, shaping our reality based on the thoughts and emotions we feed it. If we constantly worry about things going wrong, we unconsciously align ourselves with experiences that validate those fears. But when we choose faith over fear, we shift our energy. We begin to see possibilities instead of obstacles. We become open to receiving instead of resisting. Trusting in divine guidance requires a conscious decision to release fear. It means recognizing when fear arises and choosing not to give it power. It means replacing thoughts of worry with thoughts of faith. It means training the mind to believe that even when things seem uncertain, there is a greater plan unfolding. Fear will always try to creep in, but we have the ability to shift our focus. We can choose to affirm, I trust that everything is working in my favor. I trust that God's timing is perfect. I trust that I am being guided. These affirmations are not just words. They are declarations of faith that rewire the mind and open the heart to receive. Fear keeps us stuck in the past or anxious about the future, but miracles happen in the present moment. When we are consumed by fear, we miss the signs, the synchronicities, the opportunities that are already around us. Fear blinds us to the beauty of what is unfolding right now. But when we release fear, we become aware. We start to notice the small miracles, the gentle nudges, the divine whispers leading us forward. Living in faith does not mean we will never feel fear. It means that when fear arises, we do not allow it to control us. It means we trust that no matter how things appear, there is a higher intelligence orchestrating every detail. Fear may try to convince us that we are alone, but faith reminds us that we are always supported. Faith aligns you with limitless possibilities because it shifts your mind, body, and spirit into a state of openness and expansion. When you operate from faith, you tap into a greater intelligence beyond your own understanding. You move from a place of limitation where you are ruled by doubt and fear into a space where anything is possible. Faith is not just a belief. It is a state of being, a way of living that aligns you with the infinite potential that surrounds you at all times. The human mind is conditioned to seek certainty, to rely on what is known, what is tangible, what is logical. It's that feeling of love. But the greatest transformations in life do not come from what is logical. They come from what is unseen, from what is felt before it is manifested. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where you desire to be. It is the energy that connects you to the reality you have not yet experienced, but is already waiting for you in the field of infinite possibilities. When you operate in faith, you no longer see obstacles as roadblocks, but as stepping stones. You stop questioning whether things will work out and start believing that they already have. You stop waiting for proof before you believe, because faith is the evidence of things unseen. The moment you shift into this awareness, life begins to reflect it back to you. Doors open where there were none, opportunities appear, and synchronicities become a natural part of your experience. Faith is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing to align with a higher reality, one where your desires, dreams, and divine purpose are fully supported. Many people live in a state of limitation because they only believe what they can see. They allow their external circumstances to dictate what is possible for them. If they face setbacks, they assume they are stuck. If they do not see immediate results, they assume things are not working. But faith teaches you to look beyond appearances, to trust that even when things seem still, movement is happening beneath the surface. The universe is always rearranging itself to match your level of belief. When you align with faith, you give permission for the impossible to become possible. Fear and doubt lower your energy, making it difficult to access higher levels of consciousness where miracles reside. When you are in a state of worry, your mind is focused on what could go wrong, and that focus creates resistance. Faith, on the other hand, elevates your energy, raising your frequency to match the very things you desire. It brings you into alignment with abundance, healing, success, and fulfillment. The more you cultivate faith, the more your reality begins to reflect the limitless nature of what is possible for you. Faith is a decision, a daily practice of choosing to believe in something greater than what your current reality shows you. It requires trust in the unseen, confidence in divine timing, and the courage to move forward even when you do not have all the answers. The more you lean into faith, the more you begin to experience a life of flow instead of struggle. You stop trying to control every detail, and instead you allow yourself to be guided. You start to see evidence of divine intelligence at work in your life, small miracles, unexpected opportunities, and moments of deep knowing that confirm you are on the right path. People who operate in faith radiate a different kind of energy. They do not dwell in worry because they trust that everything is unfolding as it should. They do not hesitate in making decisions because they know they are being guided. They do not fear failure because they understand that every experience is leading them toward their highest good. This kind of faith creates momentum. It builds confidence. It strengthens resilience. It turns what once seemed impossible into a reality that feels inevitable. When you align with faith, you begin to see life from a new perspective. You recognize that challenges are not punishments, but opportunities for growth. You understand that delays are not denials, but divine timing at work. You no longer operate from a mindset of scarcity because you know that you are always supported. Faith lifts you above limitations, expands your vision, and connects you to the limitless possibilities that have always been waiting for you to claim them. Letting go is not losing control. It is shifting control to a higher intelligence that sees beyond what you can see, knows beyond what you can know, and moves in ways beyond your comprehension. So many people hold on tightly to situations, outcomes, and expectations because they believe that control equals security. They believe that if they can manage every detail, predict every step, and force things to go their way, they will find peace. But true peace is not found in control. It is found in surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means trusting that there is a divine order at work, a force greater than yourself that is guiding you toward what is best for you. The need for control is rooted in fear, the fear of the unknown, the fear of failure, the fear that if you do not take charge, things will fall apart. But fear-based control is an illusion. The more you try to control, the more resistance you create, the more tension you feel, and the more exhausted you become. It is like swimming against the current, exhausting yourself while making little progress. When you let go, you release the need to fight, to force, to push. You allow the flow of life to take you where you are meant to go. You trust that even when things are not happening on your timeline, they are happening in divine timing. You stop grasping for certainty and instead embrace the unfolding of life with faith. Letting go does not mean you stop taking action. It means you take action with trust rather than desperation. You move forward with confidence rather than fear. The more you try to control, the more you become trapped in your mind. You analyze, overthink, and second guess every decision. You play out scenarios trying to predict every possible outcome. This mental exhaustion drains your energy and disconnects you from the present moment. But when you let go, you step into a state of presence. You stop obsessing over the future and instead focus on what you can do now. You take steps with clarity, knowing that the path will reveal itself as you move forward. Letting go is a process of releasing attachment. Attachment to how things should be, how people should act, how circumstances should unfold. When you are attached to a specific outcome, you create expectations. And when those expectations are not met, you experience disappointment, frustration, and doubt. But when you release attachment, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. You open yourself up to new possibilities, outcomes that may be even better than what you imagined. Many times, the things we try hardest to control are the very things that are meant to evolve in their own way. Relationships, careers, dreams, all of these unfold in alignment with divine timing, not human timing. The moment you stop trying to force things, you create space for the right things to come to you. Letting go allows energy to move freely, allowing what is meant for you to find you effortlessly. There is a deep peace that comes with surrender. Instead of living in a constant state of worry, you begin to trust that everything is happening as it should. You start to see setbacks as redirections, delays as divine protection, and uncertainty as an opportunity for faith. The mind always seeks certainty, but the soul thrives in trust. When you shift from a place of control to a place of trust, you align with the rhythm of the universe. You begin to notice synchronicities, signs, and confirmations that reassure you that you are on the right path. Fear will always try to convince you that if you let go, you will lose everything. But faith reminds you that letting go is not about losing. It is about making room for more. It is about stepping into a greater flow where things come together in ways beyond your planning. It is about shifting from stress to peace, from struggle to ease, from resistance to acceptance. Letting go requires trust, and trust is a choice. A choice to believe that you are supported, that you are being guided, and that you are never alone. And the more you practice trust, the more you will see evidence of divine intelligence working in your life. You will experience the freedom that comes with surrender, the lightness that replaces the weight of control, and the miracles that unfold when you finally allow things to happen instead of trying to make them happen. Worry is the mind's attempt to control what it cannot. It is the endless cycle of thoughts that keep you trapped in fear, uncertainty, and doubt. When you worry, your mind projects worst-case scenarios, imagining every possible way things could go wrong. It convinces you that by overanalyzing, stressing, and trying to predict the future, you are somehow preparing yourself. But in reality, worry does not prepare you, it paralyzes you. It keeps you stuck in a loop of fear, draining your energy, clouding your clarity, and disconnecting you from the present moment. When you worry, your body responds as if the thing you fear is already happening. Your heart races, your muscles tense, and your breathing becomes shallow. This stress response releases cortisol, the hormone that signals your body to stay in a heightened state of alertness. Over time, this constant activation takes a toll on your mind and body, leading to exhaustion, anxiety, and even physical illness. Worry does not solve problems, it creates new ones. It robs you of peace and makes you a prisoner of your thoughts. Trust, on the other hand, frees you from the burden of worry. Trust allows you to release the need to figure everything out and instead lean into the knowing that things are working for your highest good. Trust does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending difficulties do not exist. It means shifting your perspective, understanding that no matter what happens, you will be okay. It means knowing that you're not alone in this journey, that a greater intelligence is guiding you, orchestrating events in ways you cannot yet see. Many people struggle to trust because they equate it with passivity. They believe that if they stop worrying, they are being irresponsible. But trust is not about inaction. It is about inspired action. It is about making decisions from a place of confidence rather than fear. Worry is reactive. It keeps you stuck in the same patterns, replaying the same fears over and over. Trust is proactive. It allows you to move forward with clarity, knowing that solutions will reveal themselves when the time is right. Trusting means accepting that you do not need to have all the answers right now. It means recognizing that some things are beyond your control and that trying to force outcomes only creates more stress. The need for control is what fuels worry. It is the belief that if you can predict and plan for every possible scenario, you can avoid pain. But life does not work that way. Some of the greatest breakthroughs come from moments of uncertainty. Some of the most beautiful outcomes arise from situations that seemed impossible. When you learn to trust, you shift your energy from fear to faith. Your thoughts create your reality. When you constantly focus on what could go wrong, you attract more of that energy into your life. You begin to see obstacles where there are opportunities. You notice setbacks more than progress. But when you shift into trust, your perception changes. You begin to recognize the small signs that things are working in your favor. You notice synchronicities, unexpected solutions, and moments of divine timing. The more you trust, the more you align with a state of ease rather than struggle. Letting go of worry does not mean ignoring problems. It means choosing to approach them from a place of calm rather than chaos. It means acknowledging that while you may not control every situation, you do control how you respond. You can choose to dwell in fear, or you can choose to focus on solutions. You can choose to let stress consume you, or you can choose to surrender and trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Trusting does not mean life will always be easy. It does not mean you will never face challenges. But it does mean that when challenges arise, you will face them with a different energy. Instead of reacting with panic, you will respond with wisdom. Instead of letting fear dictate your choices, you will move with confidence. You will stop wasting energy on what you cannot change and start focusing on what you can. Every moment spent worrying is a moment taken away from living. It is a moment where you could have been present, enjoying what is in front of you, appreciating what you have, and taking meaningful steps toward what you want. Worrying about the future does not change it. Trusting the process does. The more you practice trust, the lighter you feel. You start to release the weight of unnecessary stress. You begin to notice a sense of peace that replaces the anxiety. You start to believe, truly believe, that things are working for you, even when you cannot yet see how. Faith is not just believing in something when everything is going well. It is holding on to that belief, even when circumstances seem uncertain, even when life is not unfolding the way you expected. It is easy to trust when things are going according to plan, when doors are opening effortlessly, and when everything aligns perfectly. But true faith is tested in moments of waiting, in moments of struggle, in moments when nothing seems to be changing. It is in these times that trust must be stronger than fear, that belief must be greater than doubt, and that patience must replace frustration. So many people lose faith because they expect immediate results. They pray, they visualize, they take action, but when they do not see instant evidence of change, they begin to question everything. They wonder if they are on the wrong path, if they misunderstood their purpose, if they should take matters into their own hands. This is where impatience weakens faith. But faith is not about immediate gratification. It is about trusting that everything is happening in divine timing, even when you cannot yet see the results. When you plant a seed, you do not see it sprout instantly. You water it, you nurture it, and you trust that beneath the surface, something is growing. The process is invisible at first, but with time, the seed begins to push through the soil and reveal the growth that was happening all along. The same is true for your life. Just because you cannot see the changes does not mean they are not happening. Just because you do not have the answers yet does not mean they are not on their way. Patience is one of the greatest acts of faith. It is the ability to wait without anxiety, to trust without doubt, and to believe without needing proof. Many people pray for something, but then allow worry to take over immediately after. They ask for guidance, but then stress over not having immediate clarity. But true faith means releasing control. It means surrendering the outcome and trusting that what is meant for you will find you. It means recognizing that delays are not denials, that what seems like a setback could actually be a setup for something greater. Fear often tries to convince you that if something is not happening now, it will never happen. It whispers thoughts of doubt, making you feel as if you are wasting time, as if nothing is working, as if you should just give up. But fear is a liar. Fear only has power when you listen to it, when you entertain its thoughts, when you allow it to shape your decisions. The more you feed fear, the louder it becomes. But the moment you silence it with faith, the moment you choose to trust rather than worry, you take back your power. Faith is not passive. It does not mean sitting back and waiting without action. It means showing up every day with belief, taking steps forward even when the path is unclear, and aligning your thoughts and actions with trust rather than doubt. It means training your mind to focus on possibilities instead of problems, to see challenges as opportunities for growth instead of reasons to quit. It means shifting from a mindset of control to a mindset of surrender. When you trust, you create an energetic shift. You stop forcing, you stop resisting, and you allow things to unfold naturally. You become open to receiving rather than desperately chasing. And in that space of trust, things begin to flow. You start to notice doors opening that you never even knocked on. You begin to see unexpected solutions, new opportunities, and divine connections that confirm you are on the right path. Trusting does not mean there will not be moments of doubt. It does not mean you will never feel uncertainty or question the process. But it does mean that in those moments you choose to hold on to faith rather than give in to fear. It means reminding yourself that everything is unfolding as it should, that nothing is happening by accident, and that even the challenges you face are part of a greater plan. Your faith is a magnet for miracles. The more you trust, the more you attract what is meant for you. The more you believe, the more you align with the energy of abundance and possibility. And the more you surrender, the more you allow the divine to work in your life in ways beyond your imagination.